Mira Business FM, Dubai's home of business radio.
This is the morning drive at Mira Business FM. Just before we welcome our first guest this morning, it's time to very quickly update the situation here in the Gulf. Overnight, major developing story is a sharp escalation between the US and Iran. Tensions now centering, of course, on the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most critical oil shipping routes. Michael Ferrarin produces this show, has the update, joins me in the studio. So, Michael, just bring us up to speed, if you would.
Major developments team. The past 24 hours have been so busy, starting with the fresh U.S. strikes targeting Iranian-linked sites overnight, as you said. Washington says the attacks were defensive in nature and aimed at responding to escalating regional threats. However, you know what that means. Iran will retaliate. Iranian state-linked media claimed Tehran had moved to close the Strait of Hormuz. As we all know, this Strait of Hormuz has been a major route for all the commercial shipping and oil tankers, and closing it would have big impacts to global markets.
Well, it will. Major disruption to global energy supplies is what we've seen, and this will create a spike in oil prices, which we've already seen, something like 3% overnight. So Brent crude and West Texas Intermediate oil, let me just check here. So at the moment, West Texas Intermediate crude futures for July around $92.70 a barrel. Brent crude futures rising to just over 95. So already a higher geopolitical risk premium has been applied.
Yes, Tim, and I don't think it's going away overnight. The situation, we have to wait and see for the next 24 hours. As you know, overnight, President Trump also warned Iran that the United States would attack very hard if no peace deal is finalized. And I think I jumped on that a little bit, but I think that's the main take-off point of the whole situation of the Strait of Hormuz being closed again. So, yeah, let's wait and see. And without the peace deal, this is not going away, definitely.
I mean, it impacts states across the GCC as well. The impact was felt across Kuwait. They've temporarily closed airspace. This morning, flights are being diverted as well. And then in Bahrain, I believe there was an attack on the US Fifth Fleet in Bahrain as well.
Yes, Tim. And with the Kuwait, it's a breaking news of the breaking news of all breaking news, because according to the Directorate General of the Civil Aviation of Kuwait, they closed this to prevent any damages from happening as a safety precaution for the Kuwaiti people and all the people transiting through the airport of Kuwait. So it was announced 4:50 a.m. this morning, and we're still awaiting further updates of what happens next.
What about seafarers in the Gulf? We know that there was an attack on an Indian oil tanker, or a disabling, I think the US CENTCOM phrased it, of an Indian oil tanker. But I know that 2 Indian seafarers among 3 people reported missing.
Yes, that's true. Unfortunately, 2 have been found. They're dead. 1 is still missing. So we're still waiting for further updates on the other seafarer. And we have to consider that this is not just, I know we always talk about the seafarers as another number. How many people were stranded? How many people died? How many people were hit by attacks? But we have to consider that these are actual human beings. I've been closely monitoring this report for the past few weeks now. I've talked to some of the seafarers, and some of them don't even know when are they going to come home. Some of their contracts have already ended, but they have to be renewed because there's no way out of the Strait of Hormuz for them. I've also talked to one shipping vessel. I wouldn't name which country the shipping vessel was from, but the captain and the other seafarers there couldn't even contact the owners of the vessel. So they're stuck in a limbo over there in the Strait of Hormuz.
It is a stalemate situation, isn't it, at the moment? Michael Ferrarin is the producer of the show, watching a developing situation very closely. The main story overnight, is, of course, the sharp escalation of hostilities between the United States and Iran. Michael, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tim. And to everyone, we have been closely monitoring the updates. Yesterday, if they look at the Morning Drive podcast, they're going to see we had an interview with a maritime security expert who discussed in great detail about the situation at the Strait of Hormuz. Check the Morning Drive podcast. Everything's there. We have interviews from the United Nations. We have interviews from several experts, and they're going to know more about the situation. Download, subscribe, and listen to the Morning Drive podcast. Thank you, Tim.
You'll find it wherever you get your podcasts from. This is Mira Business FM.
Mira Business FM, Dubai's home of business radio. Mira Business FM, your daily guide to the markets, money, and more.
Welcome to the Morning Drive at Mira Business FM. This morning, decoding or even maybe translating HR speak, human resources speak, what they say and what they mean. So when we look at the modern enterprise, communication is one of the foundations of efficiency, if not the ultimate foundation of efficiency. But if you walk into a boardroom or look at an internal memo from human resources, very often you drown in completely different language, cliches and inexplicable phrases and acronyms. And it seems like the more you can throw into conversation, the better at times. So I want to get to grips with what this means and what the jargon means and why we do it and who we think we are and all that stuff. And the man for the job is David Mackenzie from Mackenzie Jones.
I thought you were going to say tackle the bear or something.
I did think about throwing in something there, but I thought, no, we'll leave that. I have a list as long as, I was going to say, my arm.
Good morning, sorry.
Nice to see you.
And yourself.
So look, HR jargon is like, it's almost like an industry. It dresses up everyday workplace realities. Corporate speak makes things sound more strategic, more diplomatic, or painless. But all those glossy phrases, we need to find out what's behind them.
Yeah.
Things like this. Let me throw a few at you. These come from like an alternative reality, I think. Right sizing, career growth opportunities. Your favourite, circling back. I know that gets you. So I want to look at what HR is actually saying to you. So the big wheel from Mackenzie Jones is here. And this is what you do. I mean, you're the ideal person, literally, because in human resources and recruitment terms, you do the HR bit, don't you?
Yeah,
so
but also we use acronyms. I mean, I've used a few here, like PRC and CLTV, client visit. That's client visit.
Client visit. You've got
CLTV, client visit. PRC, potential recruitment consultant.
Yeah, I know. I remember that one. I remember thinking that probably doesn't need an acronym.
No.
But there you are. So, I mean, the thing is with this, a cliche is a cliche for a reason.
Yes.
And very often you can explain a much longer phrase by using a cliche. And I get that and I understand that. But why is it that the corporate world is so dependent on euphemisms and these kind of phrases that you have to translate before you respond?
I think it's steeped in if I look at I'm trying to look at this from a reason why this has grown so much, and there's a number of reasons. Like one of the things is if you're in an environment like HR, it speeds up communication because you all know what you're talking about. If you're talking about an L&D comp plan, if you're looking at HR harmonization, everyone in HR knows what that means. I know you're looking at me. That basic HR harmonization is just pull everything together.
Yeah, I mean, I look at these things, and my first reaction is, why did you not say just pulling things
Because
together?
I think in HR, you're part of an HR community. So what it also does gives you a sense of belonging,
It's a club.
cohesion, a club, and an understanding. So you can almost speed through sentences without having to explain them because people understand them.
Okay, no, I mean, and I get that, and that's fine, because we all do that in one way or another. We're all in our kind of boxes or our clubs. But the thing about this is that I suppose riles people that little bit more is that HR is about people and relating to people. And when you add that other layer, it kind of gets under your skin a little bit more than, your standard business jargon and business phrases, you know, if you run something up the flagpole and see who salutes and all those things, or you park your tanks on the lawn.
What? Well, I've never heard that one.
Oh, that's one. I used to work with a guy a few years ago, and he used to use lots of those phrases, and over about 2 or 3 years that we worked together on a program, I put together a list of all the things that he used to say. So I'd write them down as he was saying them. It was about 5 pages. Well, all these different phrases.
When I worked for Castrol in the UK, Castrol BP, we were working. They're a great client. I love working with them. The day I joined we did a big outsource project for them. They gave me an acronym handbook. So things like PCO in their business means passenger car organisation. So they gave me one so I could understand what when I was in meetings, what people were saying.
Well, I mean, so that facilitates and speeds up
Yes.
processes, so I get that, and that's fine. But in HR specifically, let me ask you this, because you'll be able to answer this, which is why I'm asking the question.
Or I'll pretend to, whatever happens.
Yeah, exactly. Just make it up. Does jargon actually build team alignment, so togetherness, or are people suspicious?
I think it does in certain circumstances when it's used for expediency purposes, for speeding things up, sorry. But I think sometimes, and you're right, I think the reason why people get annoyed with HR is when they use terminology that they don't understand. So example, they say, look, we're going through a right-sizing exercise and the business needs to focus on new challenges. Look, the company's struggling at the moment. We're going to make redundancies.
Yeah.
This is what's happening. Yeah. And I think that's often HR use it to soften the blow to a degree, because that's what their job is to do, is to make the people internally understand what's going on, but soften it a bit.
And it's hard.
It is hard.
I think HR is often a very hard job, particularly when it comes to if you have to let people go. It's a very difficult thing to do, not just for the person being let go. It's very hard to do it. Yeah. So I guess there's a tendency to dress that up in a little bit of word salad.
But word salad's another one.
That's a good one.
But also, and I'm thinking about this out loud, is that we're in a culture where there are, how many 200 and something different nationalities?
I always get that wrong. I think there are something like 200 nations, and I say 215 nationalities.
There you go.
It sounds good.
Let's stick with that.
Good.
But when you're communicating, if there's a common language in HR that everyone uses, whether you're a Filipino, a Brit, a South African, a Russian, an Emirati, then it makes the communication process slightly easier.
Okay, so it's like a way of standardizing.
Exactly. It means that some things are not lost in translation. Because if I say something to you, like if I say Ouija, you exactly understand what I'm talking about.
I do.
If I talk to an English person, they probably have no idea what that means. So
you should explain what that means.
It means a Glaswegian, if you're Scottish. Yeah. So basically, that's the only time when it becomes a consistent theme. But, and I do understand this, I think some people as employees get really frustrated with constant jargon. Put a pin on it, circle back, boots on the ground. I don't know how that has any relevance to modern day work. I don't know, but it's things you can say that should be much clearer, and I don't think sometimes they are here. People hide behind it.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's look at specific day-to-day corporate communication or HR communication. We've all been in town halls or reviews where a phrase is dropped and we all kind of nod along. And I'm thinking,
what?
So I'm Googling. What on earth
That's
did
the problem.
mean?
If you have to Google it, then you're really lost, aren't you?
Well, you really are. But you're kind of messaging people going, what does this actually mean for the job or for me or for you?
Is that good or bad?
It's embarrassing. All right, so an incredibly common phrase during recruitment or restructuring is that an employee will need to wear multiple hats.
Yes.
There's a phrase that you hear a lot. Pretty easy to understand. Most of us get that. And it sounds like you're being invited. It's kind of exciting, as though you're going to diversify your skill set. And there's another one, diversify your skill set. But you're going to learn new things, be able to do new things, add new things to the company and all of that. But in practice, it's often cover for you to do the workload of 2 or 3 people.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
It's I can't say what's the sandwich on the radio, but you know what it is. You know where I'm going with that, and so do most people. But it's a way of communicating an issue and making it sound positive.
Yeah.
The issue is we don't have enough people, so you've got to do 3 people's jobs.
Yeah.
So what you dress it up is, you're going to multitask, you're going to many hats, you're going to diversify your portfolio of experience. Listen to that.
That was really good. That just came out of you.
I'm a recruiter.
How would you, if you had a client and the role was obviously, filling a couple of roles, how would you put that across to somebody? How would you, because a lot of this is selling it to somebody, isn't it?
I think if I was hiring for a company and they said, look, this role used to be 3 people, now it's 1, so the workload's increased. Right. My client would be most clients are pretty honest with us. I'd say to the candidate, look, this is going to really stretch you. because this original role was handled by 2 or 3 people.
Okay.
They've upgraded the role, and they're looking for someone like you. Just done a big sell there. You bought that, haven't you?
Yeah, I want that job too. Okay, so there are different ways of doing it,
Yes.
but it is dressing things up that
Yeah.
maybe aren't. Okay. When a job description proudly boasts a fast-paced, dynamic environment or something similar, is that an agile, innovative company? Or is it just a place that doesn't have enough people, then there's really a lot of stress going on?
Could be either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, example, you never see on Google's adverts we're a fast-paced environment because the assumption is people know they are.
Okay.
So if you're an oil company, which typically is not a particularly fast-paced environment, it may, I'm going to use another buzz, resonate, which I really hate. It may resonate with a candidate that, oh, actually, I didn't know they were like that. It's a sell, another sell.
Well, it is. Resonate's a weird one, actually, and I get that. And I'm as guilty of this as anybody else is. We all do this, but Resonate's a weird one because Resonate is a bit like it echoes, and echoing's a bit annoying. I never really understood that. Okay, so here's another question. HR loves to praise employees who take ownership of their projects.
Yep.
That's a great phrase.
I like that phrase because that says exactly what it does on the tin.
Okay.
If you use that corporate speak again. But I think with buzzwords, if I say it to you and you're not in my industry and you understand it, then the communication path has been very clear.
Well, this is the cliche is a cliche for a reason. But there's another side to this as well, because a lot of the time you become suspicious when people overly use jargon. So if you say to somebody, I really want you to take ownership of that particular project, you're either empowering that person or if it fails, they're out.
Yes.
I mean, there's that side as well, isn't there?
So what would be
down to you, it's your fault.
Many ways, a better way of doing that, if you're an individual that wants the honest truth. Say, look, this project's not doing very well at the moment. I'm gonna put you into this to sort it.
Okay.
If you don't sort it, then we have to put you somewhere else. Simple.
I was going to say, I have to put you down.
Well, I was going to say parachute you in, but it's amazing how many military acronyms are in the workplace, and I think there's a macho part of that. It's going to boots on the ground. We're going to take the ridge, and we're going to conquer everything. And there's a lot of this sort of very quite aggressive words that talk about winning. It's all about winning, and I think that's how some of those things are.
I think also there's your great militaries are very, very organised.
Yes.
They're very disciplined, and if the militaries are building a bridge, that bridge is built. So there's a real
yes
in
and
theory.
no. I remember.
Have you built a bridge?
No,
I
was in artillery. So I turned up once. I had 4 guns.
Artillery.
I was I know I was in the artillery. Unbelievable, isn't it? Wow. And I remember turning up, going to the quartermaster. Where's the ammo? And he went, I said, I've got 5 howitzers here with no ammo and 20 guys.
Were they actually howitzers?
Yeah, 155 millimeter. They had spades on the back when they used to jump back about 3 or 4 feet. Amazing. Absolute deafening. Suck all the air out. Yeah, but he turned up and I said, you've got everything. We had the kitchen, we had all the asbestos gloves and stuff, or not asbestos anymore. We had the rams and everything. We had but water, we had no ammo. I'm like, it sort of defeats the object of what we're meant to do.
Okay, so that's ruined my whole argument. In theory,
yes, organised. The military is hurry up and wait. Literally is that. But
really?
but your analogy is absolutely right. The military is super disciplined. It's very structured. It's disciplined. And I think business tries to sometimes be like the military. And I think some of the terminology and the phraseology sort of comes into the business
you can
world.
see the crossover, can't
Yeah.
you? Because if you want to be, every business wants to ultimately be efficient, and
Absolutely.
you make more money
And
when you're efficient.
successful.
And
Yeah.
if you take a lead from military points of view, I guess that's why. Let's get to the more sensitive area of the workplace: compensations and promotions and exits. All right, where corporate speak is kind of a shield, I think, in lots of ways, and it softens blows that might be financial or. It might be the exit.
Yeah.
we've talked about money a lot, but it's something you shouldn't shy away from. You have to kind of be firm and direct. And am I right, or you're looking at me?
No.
I think you do.
No, I'm listening to you.
But it's hard for a lot of people.
It is.
Money's hard to talk about.
Money's hard to talk about, and letting somebody go is very difficult, by the way. And I've done loads of that in my career, and I always describe this as it takes a piece of your heart and it never grows back. Because letting go of somebody, even though it's exactly the right reasons, they're not performing, they're not right for the organisation, whatever, you've been with that person for a number of years, you've bought into them, but things have changed, and letting them go is a very difficult thing to do, because you don't want to say to them, look, you're no good, I'm letting go of you. So you have to dress it up a bit. And that's human fragility. Human beings want to generally be nice to people, and they want to have a lasting legacy that person has enjoyed the time in your company. So you soften the blow as much as you can, because there's a legacy after that person's gone, and you want them to remember you favourably.
Well, it's always personal, even when it's not personal. If somebody leaves a company, there's a tendency, I think, for lots of people to think, well, I wonder what we did. It may have just been time, but it always feels personal. In the same way as if you have to let somebody go, very often it'll be, well, look, this is not personal. This is the situation. This is how it is. And the response from the person being let go is going to be, it's personal to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of unavoidable, isn't it?
Well, there's I won't mention the name, person that we let go some time ago, and I'm keeping in contact with that person because they were a good person. They just weren't right for us, and I'm not sure we were right for them.
Okay.
And I'm keeping in contact because their values are right. And there's another person that left us some time ago I'm not keeping in contact with, because when they left, they just did some bad stuff. And I'm very clear when people leave Mackenzie Jones or we let them go, I go, look, there's 3 things you mustn't do. Don't take our people, don't take our clients. Anything else, we'll always be your best advocate. I went to pitch for a very large company the other day, and one of our ex-employees is there. She got us in to pitch for the assignment. We won it, and it's down to her. And she left us 2 years ago. So we did something right when she left our business, and we've maintained contact with her. But the very nature she went out of her way to recommend us to her bosses is a lasting legacy for what we did right.
Well, there's a lesson in that, isn't there? That at some point down the road, people remember.
Yeah, but we've had an incident recently where somebody has, I've told them that, and they've gone after one of our clients, and I've just said, look, I told you in the beginning, this is not how it works with us. We're very nice, very honourable, but live up to your non-compete.
Yeah, okay.
And that does end, and then they can go for the clients. I don't have an issue with that. Clients buy people anyway, so I understand that. But they did it very underhand way, and for me, that's unforgivable. I know. It's very sore.
Opened a wound.
And it's a person I really liked as well. But that's.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the way life goes, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Right. So let me ask you this: when an offer letter or a job post promises a competitive salary package aligned with market standards, the kind of thing. I know. Why is the actual number so rarely listed? Does competitive mean they're competing to pay you top tier rates, or they're competing to see how cheap they can get?
You've hit on a very good point. So it's one that's talked about all the time. Why do recruitment companies and why do clients not advertise the salaries? There's 2 reasons. One is if the client is advertising a role and it's an HR manager and they put the salary on there, they've probably got incumbents in the business that may be on lower money or higher money.
Sure.
You don't want to alienate those people. So I understand that bit. The other bit, if a recruitment company does it, is often we're given a brief by a client. This is the parameter between 30,000 and 50,000. If we put between 30 and 50 and you're on 25, you automatically think you're going to get 40.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
So we can't manage your expectations, when in reality you're probably only worth 30, 32,000, because that's the level of experience you've got.
Which would be a reasonable jump from my 25 or whatever.
Exactly. But most candidates, unfortunately, push comes to shove, are always very expectant of a much higher increase.
And double.
Exactly. And that's the problem. But you advertise 50, so why not worth 50? Well, because you've only got 5 years experience, the person that we pay 50 would be 15 years experience. Well, I don't agree with that. You're suddenly adding an element of, conflict to a degree. So that's why we don't do it personally. Often our clients don't like us to advertise salaries anyway because of internal politics.
Yeah, no, I get that. And there are two very distinct schools of thought, I think. There are people that would be completely open about money and people that are like, just don't talk about
But you're not, are you?
I don't. I just don't talk about it at all because I always feel that it always causes some kind of issue in the long run. So I just don't talk about it. I don't have a massive interest in it. Wherever you earn is your business.
Yeah.
I just don't care. Doesn't matter.
I'm a bit like you. My view is that your salary is very personal to you. What you earn is very personal to you. Yeah. If you start talking about it, it's never going to be a good thing. It's always going to cause issues.
It's generally a competition.
Exactly.
It's a look at me thing.
Life is a competition. Unfortunately, yeah.
Is that where I'm going wrong?
No, but competitive in different ways.
Yeah.
You want to be the best at what you want to do. You want to be the most proficient at what you do. You want to have the most enjoyment. All these are competitive elements of what you do. You love being, a new, what would you call yourself? Journalist, I would say, but...
At stretch.
You know what I mean. Yeah, but you're a journalist, so you have integrity about the profession you do. I know how much you research for each one of these, and you've got loads of people. So why don't you just come on and just do what you want? Because there's a professionalism to what you do. That's a competitive element. You want to be good. You want to have a good show. You want to get good ratings, and you have better guests each time and replace people like me.
Yeah, sure. Here's another thing. You're going to like this one, I think. We have seen, you see it all the time, but particularly in the last year or so, lots of global restructurings. There have been lots of things happening, I think more than maybe a year or two ago. Why does HR not use fire or layoff, and why do they go for right sizing or realignment or offboarding or these terms when it comes to talking about letting people go? Does changing the vocab actually reduce cultural fallout within the remaining team? Does it make a difference if you do that?
I think if you understand what HR's job is here, and I obviously recruit for HR, they don't want to upset people. Generally, that's not their given directive. So when you say to somebody that's going to be let go, I'm sorry, you've been fired, it's a hugely negative word, that person's then immediately got on their head, I'm no good, I haven't succeeded, I'm being fired. If you say to somebody, look, there's a situation, our business isn't doing that well, we're having to look at the business and right size it, and unfortunately your role is one of them. Your role is one of them.
Yeah.
So when that person goes to their parents or their boyfriend or their girlfriend and say, I've lost my job, why? Oh, they've right-sized the company. They don't go back and say, I got fired. There's a human element to what HR do, which means you've got to soften the blow as much as possible. They genuinely do not want to upset people, HR. All the people that I know don't anyway.
No, and that makes sense. HR there's a weird conundrum in human resources in that it is ultimately incredibly personal. But in lots of ways, you have to be
impersonal,
completely impersonal.
Oxymoron. It's like military intelligence, isn't it?
It really is, yeah. Or howitzers with no ammunition, or something like that, I suppose.
I'm going to have to send you a picture of me with one of those guns.
It's not a romantic notion at all. I don't want it to be that, but no, the howitzer. Rather than anything else, it's just that. The howitzer's like a great big cannon thing,
mate. This was 155 millimeter.
That's the size. That's the bore. Yeah, that's
the length.
That's yeah.
Excuse me. This would fire 20 miles. 20 miles.
Wow. We're completely off topic.
I know. Sorry.
I'd rather talk howitzers. All right, then. So let's
HR.
Let me offer you an opinion.
Okay.
And we'll move past the comps and bends. Element of our...
You still love that. It's your favourite thing, isn't it?
That's the best phrase you've ever introduced. If a startup or an enterprise wants to scale in the region, the speed of your communication velocity, I know that's good, matters, right? So if your team has to spend half their day decoding what leadership actually means, that has an impact on the bottom line.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it does.
So that's the first thing I wanted to say. Do corporate executives actually realise when they're speaking in buzzwords, do they get that they're doing it, or is it a part of being maybe institutionalised so that you get to a point where you actually think, I'm just being very clear. I'm achieving clarity here by using a buzzword and a sentence when I could have said one word.
I think people are institutionalised, that the more senior they get. But also, I do believe people hide behind buzzwords because their language skills are not great. So they use it to sound more proficient, brighter, more intelligent than they probably are. But if I think of the really good HR directors and the really good CEOs I've met, they're like you and me. They talk very clearly, because I think there's a big change in the business world now. Certainly, maybe not so much in the UAE, but globally, where CEOs have to be seen as inspirational, and their clarity of communication is almost key. So if you start using too many buzzwords, you lose people. But in organizations, so if we take, let's say, Google, they have acronyms everywhere. And because they use them on a constant basis, when the CEO does a town hall, everyone understands what he's saying anyway. But when you see him presenting the new iPhone, it's a very different tonality, voice. His voice is very different. It's very clear. It's very direct, because he's speaking, as we are in the UAE, to a multicultural audience that have different English language capabilities. And this is why certainly some people use acronyms here, because it's a consistent theme. And if English is not your first language, you'll often understand some of the buzzwords in your company.
Oh, that makes some sense. I was watching a piece of videos, I think it was Al Jazeera or somebody like that, and they were with the CEO of Riyadh Air, the new airline, and they were on board.
Great airline.
They've just taken their first kind of bunch of planes, and they were the guy was with the CEO on board the plane. He was talking about the plane, and the CEO was really selling it a little bit too much, in my opinion. Actually, it was really going for it, but he wasn't using buzzwords or buzz phrases. It was a very down-to-earth approach. I mean, it was literally, look at the seats and this and that, and I quite appreciated that.
But I'll tell you why, because his PR person has said this is a global audience.
He's well trained.
Yeah, he's been trained. You got to remember, these guys are media trained, or ladies are very media trained.
Yeah.
So they're if you watch a really seasoned CEO on stage, or you watch them on a video, they're very clear, they're very concise, and they engage you, because they are trained to do that by their media people. You don't naturally become like that. I got loads of media training when I was MD of Monster.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you attend those classes?
Savage. I loved it, because actually the person that we had, actually an old News at 10, I don't remember News at 10, presenter,
right.
George Alagaya. Remember him?
Oh, I do. Yeah.
He was our media.
He died recently.
Yeah, well, okay.
Not recently.
It wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
But he trained us, and he said, you use too many buzzwords. You're too engrossed in your own organisation.
Right.
Think about the people outside your organisation. Make it clear. And he said, so your granny can understand you.
Nice. But I mean, it is a lot to do with reading the room, isn't it? To understand when to use buzzwords and when not to. What do you think? This is a complete aside, but what do you think about CVs on LinkedIn? Because very often with resumes and CVs on LinkedIn, they've been AI-ified.
Oh yeah, more and more so, yeah.
More and more so. And I see them, and I see the little précis of the person, because you'll get somebody will want to connect, and I'll have a look, and then it'll be this amazing paragraph with all these things. And 99% of the time I look and I think, I have no clue
idea
what you do. And mine is like something like,
I did radio.
Radio and podcasts. I think it's something like that. And I find that really confusing on LinkedIn.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Then that is the wrong thing to do, because you as a layperson looking at that CV, you should be able to understand exactly what that person does.
Well, that's what I think.
Yeah, when I go through CVs, I look at some of them and I go, this is just rubbish. It's almost, they haven't got to the point. Remember, a consultant of mine once came out from a client and said, how was the job? And he goes, in terms of appropriateness, it's really appropriate. And I'm like, what did you just say? And he went, yeah, the job's good. And I went, why didn't you just say that? Because he wanted to sound intelligent, I think. But when I look at LinkedIn CVs and I look at LinkedIn profiles, I've got to say my HR ones are very clear.
Okay.
But I look at some of the CEOs and the MDs. There's just you look at it and you go, oh my goodness me, that's just waffle, absolute waffle.
Yeah.
And I think there's a whole world now change where people want brevity, i.e. clarity. They want concise. This is what I do. This is what I've achieved, and this is what I want to do next. Very clear.
Authenticity.
Yeah, I don't like authenticity because I think it's about being genuine. It's who you are. I think the problem is influence have hijacked that authenticity, and I hate influencers, as you well know. And being very honest here. And I just think they've hijacked some of these words that were very clear, and like authentic's a very good word. And I think they've made it sound really crass and not genuine anymore. Because how many influencers do you know are very authentic?
I'm struggling.
Alex. We know
One.
Supercar Blondie, yeah. We know Alex. She talks about when you see her talking about her cars, there's a genuine excitement in her voice. And she talks about it with real passion. That's, to me, an authentic person.
Oh, that's fair. Well, the problem with authentic is it's becoming inauthentic, hasn't it? So
Yeah.
I suppose, but everything goes in cycles.
Your
So
authentic voice.
it will come round again as well.
I hope so.
I look at a lot of the CVs and I think normally you kind of work under a label, right? But most of these CVs to me work under a ladle, and somebody's just ladled a whole load of soup on top.
Yeah.
It sort of gets to me. That was just something I was interested in.
Just sorry to interrupt. Have you seen some of the posts coming on LinkedIn? There's some of the self-congratulatory sort of this is why we're so amazing. I think LinkedIn's lost its business community.
Yeah.
There's a recruitment company that we know, and they're pretty good actually. But all their posts about, this is me with my family and this is me with my kids, and I'm like, this is nothing to do with your business. LinkedIn has drifted into Instagram now, and it's missed what it was set up to do, which is to be a business community that connects together. And I think we're seeing, people's kids being born, people's parents dying, having a great day out with the kids at the beach. And I love all that stuff because I'm a big family man, but that's not the right place for LinkedIn.
No, that's the wrong platform for
exactly.
that, isn't it?
But it's now becoming like Instagram, unfortunately.
So you need to be more platform appropriate, I think.
Or go to the right platform.
Yeah. All right. So what's the measurable business cost of low transparency communication?
Good question. I don't know the answer, but my gut feeling is that if there's an element of confusion in your communication with your staff, they can't be blamed for missing what they're meant to achieve.
Okay, so let's say you use a lot of heavy corporate jargon. How does that impact employee retention, particularly among younger, Gen Z, maybe younger millennial workers? Because from what I read, the research tells us that they value authenticity and they won't really put up with that lack of authenticity because there's no point. We're used to it. We just go, no, don't bother with that, get on with it. But it's a bit like, well, why would I even attend work? Why would I even go to that company? It's a very different attitude.
Yeah.
And there's validity in that attitude. I get that.
I do, but I think we've gone too far the other way. And I think we talk about this is
Possibly.
that I think if I'm communicating with one of my team and they're not doing a good job,
Right.
my view is I go, right, how are you? What's going on in your life? How's work going? You're missing your targets. What's going on?
Right.
Because there might be a reason behind all this. I need to understand. It could be personal. It could be something affecting the business. And that's the first conversation. The second conversation is, I don't understand why you're missing these targets. Let me know what you're doing to get back on target. So it's a very clear communication. And at the end of it, I go, look, you're not working particularly hard at the moment because you've had 3 sick days off. Both of them on Mondays and Fridays. And you're missing your targets, and your call logs are low. I'm at a loss what to do. How can I help you hit your targets if you're not doing the things I've asked you to do? Very clear. I'm very clear about those things. And some people, I had a great lady. She's actually really good. She left us because she said to me, "I'm done with recruitment. I don't think I can do this anymore." And I went, okay.
Well,
do you
that's
wanna,
fair.
Yeah, what do
Yeah.
you want to do? And she goes, I want to try something different. And she's done something different, and I think she's been quite successful at it. But that wasn't a failing on her part or our part. It was just she was done with this particular job.
It's guts to be that honest.
It's a hard job as well sometimes, recruitment. I mean, everyone thinks we learn loads of money and drive nice cars. It's not the case. It's a brutal role sometimes. You go through a whole process, and the candidate at the end goes, yeah, it's not right for me. 3 months work down the drain. And your boss is going, why aren't you hitting your targets?
Okay.
Sorry, that was me just griping about my industry then.
No, I'm with you, because I think there is this image of recruitment consultants, as there is with real estate agents, as there is,
Yeah.
there are the stereotypes. Right, as an HR professional, a career professional, what would your message be to a CEO? And I gave you a little bit of advance warning on this, just a little bit, and full disclosure.
And like you usually, you just land me straight in.
Yeah, I know, savage, you see. But if anybody is listening or watching now and they want to get rid of corporate speak or toxic corporate speak, if that's how far it's gone, and you want to replace it with really direct, honest communication, what rules, frameworks, or whatever you need, what do you need to do now? Before you answer, I wrote something for you.
Go for it.
And I'm wondering if you echo the sentiment here.
Okay.
Company culture is not defined by the inspirational buzzwords painted on the lobby wall when you walk in, or you see on Instagram all too often. It's defined by the unvarnished truth told in individual performance reviews, being really plain and honest, and exit interviews. So if you want to scale your business, cut the fluff, speak plainly.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think that summary is very, very good.
Okay.
I think if you're, as an MD of a business or an HR director, your role is to be as clear as possible about why that person hasn't achieved their objectives and what the outcome of that will be. But you've also got to remember that's a human being you're sitting in front of. And there might be reasons why they're not hitting their targets. Now, most of the HR people here are very good at this. They've got that EQ bit. They understand about emotional intelligence. And I don't believe people come in every day to fail. I think people come in and they get lost, or they don't know what they're doing, or they're having bad luck.
That's exactly what I was thinking when you paused there. I was thinking, I very often think people have maybe lost their way a little bit.
So it's communication. You just need to sit with them and go, I get a sense of feeling you're not really with us at the moment. What's going on?
Right.
And it could be broken up with a partner, dog's dead, granny's ill, lost loads of money, just worried about staying in Dubai. It could be any of those personal things, or it could be, I don't believe in your company anymore.
Right.
Or I don't want to do this job anymore. I find it too hard. I want to do something different. And I think you've got to be a very brave person to sit with your boss and say, I don't believe in what I'm doing anymore is the right thing for me. This lady who did it with me she's really good. It was a very brave move, and she's not a young lady, by the way, either. So she did it later in her career, and I think that takes huge amount of confidence and huge guts to do that. So if you're dealing with a CEO and you say to them, he or she says to you, how can we make the company better? Can you just be honest and plain speaking with us? To a degree, he can't be as honest as everything because he's got shareholders, etc. But
sure,
his communication with you can be more real, or as you say, authentic.
All right then, we've got a little bit of time actually today, which is amazing, and I've got loads and loads of human resources, jargon, phrases, acronyms.
Can I just say about HR? We talk about HR. I've been doing HR for 20 odd years here, and generally most of the HR people I meet are really good, and they really care about the people in their organisations. I think they get a bad rap, especially if you've been let go by them or you've not been heard by them. And when I say heard, that's a bloody influencer thing, isn't it? Sorry, I'll delete that bit. I think people get frustrated with HR because they've delivered something bad, and yet when they've wanted something, they haven't delivered on that either. So I think that's why people don't like HR. My general impression of the people I've met here, certainly the senior leaders and the mid to senior leaders, they really are very passionate, more so than any other function I've looked at, about their day-to-day job.
It strikes me it's a more vocational role. I don't mean it's not like a teaching vocational or a nurse vocational, but it's a more vocational role in the corporate world than most roles in the corporate world, because you have to want to do it. You have to want to use the emotional intelligence that you have for the betterment of people.
Exactly.
It's a slightly different kind of mindset if you're a good HR person.
Most HR people feel really passionate about their job.
Yeah.
My mate's an oil trader, very successful one now, obviously. And I said, do you like your job? He goes, no, I do it for money. I only do it for money. I don't like the environment. I don't like the people. I don't know what I do. I just do it to make loads of money. And I'm like, and he's very, very wealthy.
He's
Now,
honest.
I always say to him, so you've gone through your whole life doing a job you don't like.
Yeah.
You work probably, let's say 40 years, 50 years of your life. So you've spent 50 years doing something you don't like. To me, that's a wasted life. You're very rich by it.
Yep.
Is money everything? For him, it is. For me, it's not. I really like my job. And I think HR people, when you talk to them generally, really are very passionate and they talk really passionately about what they do.
I think on balance, you have to find a balance.
You do the oil trading job.
No, I absolutely wouldn't, because I absolutely am useless at that. I'd be like, oh, fine, sell, buy. Yeah. Oh, I'm in buy. I'm in sell. I'd get it wrong.
£1 million down.
Yeah, there you go. But you have to find a balance, don't you? But then if your motivation is that, your motivation is money,
Yeah.
And you're chasing money, then fine. That's up to you, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's not my thing or your thing. But right, I have a game for you.
Okay.
What they say and what they actually mean. So I'm going to read you a phrase, and then what you're going to do
Oh, translate it.
is translate it.
Okay.
All right, so here we are. We're a family here.
That means your CEOs normally say that because they want you to be part of their company and feel like it's you have an active interest in the direction and the success of the company.
That's a very positive spin on my translation.
Now, yeah, well, I know what yours is. Go on, what's yours?
I would read that as somebody saying you need to work a long, long hourly day, and the boundaries are going to be blurred because we're not that transparent.
Yeah, so we are family means you have no home life. You just crack on with your job, and I don't care whether Johnny's sick.
Right. We're looking for a cultural fit.
Yes. Okay, I'll give you 2 spins on this.
Go on.
Cultural fit is very important in this current climate, certainly with the companies, because you have to go above and beyond your job description these days because it's quite a tough environment.
Right.
The bad side of that means, okay, we're all from a certain area and we're all from a certain nationality and we don't think you fit.
Yeah, we want somebody just like the rest of the team.
We want a British person with a beard, or we want, it could be any one of those things.
Okay.
We have that all the time. Yes, we'll take anybody, but we'd like somebody who speaks Arabic and who comes from the Maghreb region and is relatively cheap. I'm like, so right, you don't want any of our advice then?
Okay. We don't have the bandwidth. What does that mean?
Ugh.
I thought that would...
It depends, really. If it's done by an individual or done by a company. If it's an individual, it means I haven't got time.
Yep.
I haven't got time for you.
What if it's a company?
If a company, we haven't got the bandwidth. We are good at what we do and we're not going to expand beyond that.
Okay. Or does it mean we're completely overwhelmed and we can't do anything else?
Yeah, but essentially, yeah. But that's, the individual, yeah. So it means that, it's a great idea, but honestly, we're drowning at the moment anyway. So... I think the other, I've got another one actually, which means something like that. I've put a few down here at the moment. In the weeds.
I've heard that.
So in the weeds means I've got, I can't see the wood for the trees. I've got so much work on the thing. I'm literally in the weeds. So don't give me anything else.
Okay. I'm going to step back for this one because this might upset you. Let's touch base / circle back.
Touch base is fine. I don't mind a touch base thing, but circle back is an Americanism.
Touch base, I got to be honest, I'm more offended by touch base than circling back. I don't know why.
Touch base is from baseball or basketball. Baseball or rounders or whatever we used to play in England. I think what it means, circle back means let's discuss this later in plain speak.
Right.
Or circle back could be, please advise me, just tell me what you think. Could be as simple as that. Let's circle back and tell me what you think.
But very often it's like, well, let's talk about this at some point, probably never.
It's a delaying tactic.
Yeah.
It's like put a pin in it. I mean, well, I don't understand put a pin in it. Is that Ehor? Is that Ehor? No, Eeyore, sorry. The donkey. Do you remember you put a
The
pin
little donkey in Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
I don't understand what put a pin in it means. It means, okay, I understand what you're saying. I don't want to discuss it now. So let's just avoid discussing it and we'll never talk about it again. That's my vision of what put a pin in it is.
So it just becomes a yellowing cutting on the board with a pin in it.
Post-it pad that never gets answered again, yeah.
Maybe. We value transparency is a good phrase. Transparency is a word that is very overused.
Yeah. So that on the negative side, we don't care what you think.
Yeah.
The other
Exactly
bit
right.
is if a company really does value transparency, then it'll come across when you're with them, they ask your opinion. How can you make us better at what we do? And if you suggest something, do they action it? That is a proper. I've got a company I'm recruiting at the moment, and they said to me, we need this chief commercial officer to come on board and change what we do because what we're doing now isn't working. Right. We're making money, but we're not getting the customers we want. Very clear communication.
That's super clear.
Yeah, a really good company.
We value transparency is either we do actually value transparency and we would like input, or we'll tell you exactly what we want you to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't care what you think.
It's an opportunity for growth is a great euphemism, I think.
I love this. I think that means we know where this role's going. We think you're the right person, but if you screw it up, you're not going to go any further.
Yeah, or you made a mistake, fix it,
or get out.
Get out, right, okay. This one I'd never heard of, and I put it in because I'm wondering if you've heard of this, flat hierarchy.
Yes, flat hierarchy.
I think I know what it means.
Yeah, flat hierarchy is essentially there are no, so what you have is everyone's at the same level in the organisation.
Yeah.
So you don't have a manager, director, MD, everyone there. So example, my business is a flat hierarchy. So there's myself, who's Group MD. I have an MD for the solutions business, and then all my consultants report into me. I have senior consultants, but we don't have managers who look after them because we're quite small. So we don't create hierarchy for the sake of hierarchy. Okay. I think that with a clear and flat hierarchy, it means often decisions are made a lot quicker because you don't have to go through different layers to get something done.
Okay. How do you progress in your career if it's a flat hierarchy?
You often don't. You become an expert. So, but you can. So a flat hierarchy, when it gets bigger, can then turn into a proper hierarchy. So as people get more experience and better, they get promoted into more senior roles where they look after people. Mm-hmm. And then you start creating a hierarchical company, which is why companies get bigger and they need a hierarchy to perform better.
You know some stuff.
I'm an HR recruiter.
You are. I like the little fist bump there. Last one here. We're a lean team.
Yeah, that means we're really scant on resources and you have to do everything from make the tea to close the deal.
You're going to be doing three people's jobs. Okay.
Or we're a lean team, i.e. we don't have loads of people in the organisation, so you need to perform at a very high level. So we're going to pay you more for it.
Okay, that's the positive spin on it. Bandwidth is time or energy. We covered that. There's something else I wanted to ask you. Is it okay to say upskilling? Because you hear that a lot now.
Upskilling just means getting better at your job.
You're a bit weary.
Yeah, if I want to upskill you, I want to get you better at your job. How do I do it? What do you need? What skills do you need? Where do you want to be? You're here now. How can I get you there? Okay. It's a very short way of saying that, which in many ways works in a corporate environment.
Leverage.
Leverage.
Yeah.
So, what's the context behind the leverage?
Well, when HR says we'll leverage our resources, for example,
work them hard.
Yeah.
Work them like Egyptian slave drivers.
But if you're leveraging your resources, you're just using what you've got.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
That's just non-speak.
This, I think, is my least favourite word, and I try and avoid it. And if I meet somebody that uses this word and uses it serious with no sense of irony or doesn't kind of wink at me when they say it,
The wink.
I avoid them.
Okay.
Alignment.
Yes. I have mixed views on this because I do understand what alignment means, because again, we go back to the very beginning of this conversation about why we use acronyms is to speed up a process. So if a client says to me, are you aligned on this? I'll go yes or no. What they mean is, do you get what I've just said? Do you understand? Do you comprehend?
agree?
And do you agree?
Yeah.
But it's a shorter way of saying that. So I'm looking at it from a positive standpoint.
Okay.
Again, I've just used an acronym. I've got loads, by the way.
Yeah, no, I know. That's why I'm doing this, because otherwise, if I let you go, we'll be here till next week.
Farage is still confused by the whole conversation anyway.
I know. Well, he hasn't been here most of the time. He got out.
As soon as we started doing that, he left, didn't
It was
he?
a break for freedom. What about a strategic pillar? What is a strategic pillar? Because this has always confused me. I just don't know what that means.
In a company, if it's a strategic pillar, it means a key part of your business. So my strategic pillar are recruitment and RPO.
Right.
Those are the bits that underpin my whole business.
What's RPO?
Yeah, good. Resource process outsourcing. It's basically so you have a talent team.
Yep.
You either get rid of them or you want us to come in and supplement what they're doing. We put people on site into your team and we charge you a monthly amount for those resources.
Okay, I
It's
understood
cost
that.
effective, very quick, and it's the way the whole of the Middle East is going at the moment.
All right. This is a good one for ongoing communication, but it's the feedback loop, which I really like.
Again, I don't
Just makes
understand what
me
that
laugh.
means.
It's a fancy way of saying let's keep talking and updating each other.
Say that.
Yeah, but that's the feedback loop. But you know, it's the little sign-off thing, isn't it? It's the sort of thing you say when
rubbish.
somebody leaves the office. Feedback loop.
It's like deep dives and synergy.
Yeah,
and
synergy's another
boots
one.
on the ground, low-hanging fruit. I mean, all these things are just...
Yeah, I left low-hanging fruit because I wasn't sure. I've got a list here of 50-odd.
Move the needle?
Easy to find. Moving the needle's good. Yeah, what does that mean? If you're asked to move the needle,
You've got to be better at what you do. Take your product from there to there. That's moving the
but
needle.
it's a measurable effect, isn't it? If you move the needle,
It sort
I
of
suppose.
makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so. So the next time you hear somebody say they're going to leverage a bandwidth to touch base about alignment, you will now know exactly what people are actually saying.
But again, there's no point in saying that because it's rubbish speak. Be clear and be very concise about what you're saying. People understand it. If you're delivering a bad message and you need to soften it a bit, which HR do, I understand it. But in your business talk, you don't, when soldiers, right, and I'm going back to the howitzer story, when your commanding officer says to you, we have to hit that target over there, we've got to do it in 5 minutes, they don't go, the objective is going to be synergized into a process model that will give us a bandwidth and a time scale of a minimal amount of time, so we have to complete our objective. They don't say that. They go, that's the target. We've got to hit it in 15 minutes, guys. Load the shells on that we don't have because the quarter mile's forgotten them, and we'll hit that target. It's because you've got to remember that the people you're talking to, some are very intelligent, some aren't intelligent.
Yes.
Some have different language skills, some don't. Here's the best one. I'm going to finish on this lovely one. Voluntold.
Voluntold?
Have you heard that one?
I've
Farage,
never
have
heard
you
that
Voluntold?
Voluntold?
Voluntold is you're going to volunteer for something, but you've been told to volunteer for it. I got told that in the army.
That is
Mackenzie,
fantastic.
I'd like you to volunteer for this mission. I don't want to do it, sir. It's not an option.
You were just cannon fodder.
I was literally cannon fodder without the shells.
Man, that's why you're the Don at Mackenzie Jones now, isn't it?
Nice.
Yeah, something like that.
I prefer the war horse, but...
There's one more thing. I read this last night, and I went back to my notes after midnight and put this in because I've never heard this, and I love this. This is and it encompasses this. It's the frantic multi-day process of rescheduling meetings around somebody who only has 15 minutes available Tuesday 3 weeks from now. It's that when you can't pin somebody down. What you're doing is you're playing calendar Tetris. Isn't that great?
Calendar Tetris.
That's the one. I don't know. David Mackenzie, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Much appreciated. Don't forget, like and subscribe. This is Mira Business FM.
Mira Business FM, where business comes to talk. Mira Business FM, the sound of success.
This is the Morning Drive at Mira Business FM. For over a century, the global art markets axis has kind of revolved around London, Paris, and New York, really. And those were the cities where taste was kind of dictated, auctions were dominated, and historic collections were born. Today, the map of what's known as alternative assets and fine art has been fundamentally redrawn. The UAE and Dubai in particular is rapidly becoming one of the world's biggest magnets for artists and collectors and global galleries. Jean-David Malat is the founder of the J.D. Malat Gallery in London and Dubai. He was born in Paris, trained at Sotheby's. He spent more than 20 years discovering emerging artists and advising elite collectors worldwide. And he is here. J.D., it's good to meet you.
Hello.
Good
Thank
to have
you
you
for having me on your show today.
You're very welcome. It's good to have you because
It's
we
great.
don't get a chance to talk about this kind of topic. I can't remember when we've ever talked about art, to be honest. So I'm kind of keen to know more about you. I know you've got a Made in the UAE initiative at the moment, so I want to talk about that. First of all, though, you've operated at the highest echelons of the European art scene. But when was it that you thought, I have got to establish a permanent base in Dubai? When did that hit you?
I came back to Dubai in 2024.
Okay.
After many years, I decided to visit Dubai again because I was busy with my life and with the gallery in London and doing international art fair. And a lot of my friends moved to Dubai. A lot of my collectors moved to Dubai.
Okay.
So I went there and I saw the life in Dubai. And everywhere I was going, I was meeting people that I knew from all over the world, and especially from London. So I really thought I really need to do something in Dubai, in the region. And I find people so welcoming, like a different vibe and mentality that you have in London now.
Yeah.
So start looking for some different location, which was not so easy. I look at different area in Dubai, and I found this amazing space that I have in Dubai downtown on the boulevard. I took 3 units and I make a large gallery on 1 floor. Very nice, very simple. High ceiling, it's beautiful. And I really, really love the vibe and the feeling of having a gallery in Dubai.
And you're right, in the new centre of the city. What is it about Dubai that's becoming, or helping it to become, such a force in the global art world? Because that really is starting to happen, I think.
It's Dubai and the region.
Yeah.
We're doing, like in last November, we did Abu Dhabi Art Fair, which was very good for us. We did Art Dubai this year, which was, they moved the date. It was supposed to be in April, but because of the event, they moved it in May. Mm-hmm. And we were so surprised how amazing it was. It was super well visited. I think they had more than 25,000 visitors this year. We did very well in terms of business with people who are based here in Dubai. So it was very. I didn't expect that, and that proves that Dubai is strong and the art market is really growing.
Do you think Dubai is benefiting from uncertainty in the traditional capitals of London, Paris, and New York?
Yeah, I mean, Dubai is getting there, like it's getting there in terms of art. The major auction houses are now in Dubai. Some important galleries are coming to Dubai. In November, Freeze Abu Dhabi is taking place. Yeah. So it's you have many events that now make Dubai an important art place.
Yeah, and it's a variety of events as well.
A variety of events. So we're trying to be very active. We're very active with the gallery since we opened. Basically, I'm almost opening a new show every month, which is quite heavy. But I think it's important also to be alive and to give the possibility to artists to show their their art.
Sure, I mean, it's time, isn't it? Because this was something, I mean, we said this before you came on air, but this is something that was missing from Dubai.
Yeah, many people told me that. Many people are saying that they're super happy that now JD Mala Gallery is in Dubai. In 1 year, I think we did with the team an extraordinary job because the gallery is quite well known and well visited. Tonight we have the opening of Made in UAE, and I just had a look at the guest list this morning, and it looks quite impressive. So yes, I think it was missing, and it's important to have more and more gallery coming to Dubai, and people they want that, they need that, they need this also.
No, I know what you mean. It's intangible as to why it's there, but it is necessary.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's look at the financial side of the gallery world, if we can, for a moment. Fine art is much more than an aesthetic luxury, right? It's a serious alternative asset class.
It is.
Your classic training at Sotheby's gives you a unique kind of institutional perspective, I think, that lots of gallery owners maybe don't have. How has the underwriting process for valuing contemporary art changed now that institutional funds and private family offices treat art in the way that they do, like equity?
Yes, they collect art, they invest in art, they invest on. So I'm dealing with young upcoming artists, but I'm always also dealing with some estates. I represent the estate of Ed Moses, which was an important American artist, and we're doing mostly primary market, but it's true on the side we also do some secondary market, which secondary market is quite strong now. And for for many people, it's an investment because you buy art because you love it, because it looks good in your living room or in your house, but also it's an investment. It's not just buying something to decorate your.
No, it's not. I mean, it's a lot more than decoration. There's been a multi-billion-dollar shift in asset capital allocation. High net worth individuals look at contemporary art as a hedge, I suppose, against inflation, against volatility in the market. For a high net worth investor looking to maybe put part of their portfolio, I don't know, 5 to 10%, whatever it is, into fine art for the first time, what are the primary risks? Because you've got to look at things like storage and security and provenance and market illiquidity, I guess.
No, there is very little risk. I mean, when you buy primary market, if you have the fund to buy art, there is very little risk. I always say it's an investment, but also you need to like what you buy. You need to feel.
There's a feel, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not just an investment. You know, and most of my collectors are like that. You know, they have real feeling. We have a real discussion. We'll talk. It's a real exchange. On top of an investment. So of course they invest. Some of my collector they keep their artworks in their house, or some of them put them in storage and then they exchange, and then sometimes they want to sell and buy something else. So, but it grow up in value. So which they feel comfortable.
You mentioned it. I mentioned it as well. Made in the UAE is a contemporary arts initiative. You're looking at local emerging talent, I believe, if I'm right in saying this, who live in Dubai.
Yes.
Yeah. So you've got a curated selection of artists. Why was it important to do that now?
Alors, this is an initiative I had when I opened the gallery. Okay. I wanted to connect with artists in the region. Because as a gallerist, as an art dealer, you're always looking for a new artist. Someone that you could work with internationally, and to discover artists. I mean, that way was amazing because we received more than 300 applications. So I saw many different artists. I saw very good works. Very talented artists are based here in the region. and also it was important to be involved here with the region and made in UAE, and you're part of the scene, and also you give a platform, you give a chance to some artists that if an initiative like that is not happening, they cannot really show their work in a proper gallery.
Well, there are limited opportunities, aren't there? I mean, it'd be exciting if you came to me and said, Tim, I really like.
It's amazing, the feeling, you please an artist, you give them a chance, and after, you work with them in the future or not, but maybe another gallery will work with them, or it's a good step for them. We select 7 artists, Emirati, completely different nationality, Russian, based in the UAE. So the project was to take artists that live and work here in the region.
And the pieces have all been created
here. And we accelerate after the recent event to push also UAE on the international scene, because I think it's important also for all the people that follow the gallery, that see that there is some real talent here in Dubai and in this region. And the show is beautiful. I curate the show on Tuesday night. We curate during the night, and now it's there. It's really nice.
And you're happy with what you've curated?
Yeah, because it's not an happy show to curate. It's 7 different artists, and I'm not used to that. I'm mostly dealing with 1 or 2 artists at the same time. So 7 artists completely different all together, but there is a real, it's nice. There is, you can feel the vibe, the atmosphere of all these pieces together. They talk to each other. It's really beautiful.
So it works together, but this is not theme. The only theme is that it's made in the UAE, but it is
completely free of mind. They could do anything they want, but something that's been made here. So we have photography, we have paintings, we have installation, sculpture. No, it's really, I hope people who are based here in Dubai can come and visit that show and give a push to these artists to be more well-known through social media, and also the show is for sale, of course.
Sure.
No,
that's fair. What is it about artists in the UAE? Because this is it's still a nascent scene. It's a young scene, isn't it? The art scene.
The art scene is a young. You mean young collector?
No, I mean as in the whole scene, the age of the scene.
The age of the scene is young. No,
it's very young. But what is it about more artists choosing to stay here, to build careers here, do you think?
I think it's quality of life. They can have a nice studio, maybe also less expensive than to live in a big capital like London or New York. They have, I think the quality of life is here, and also I think they have, I will say, maybe more chance to make it here. In London or New York, you're a bit lost in the middle of many artists. And I think here, if you know how to do it, maybe you have more chance to sell and to make it.
And I guess from your point of view as well, you have an opportunity to find maybe the hidden gem.
Yes, exactly.
Would otherwise not.
Exactly, and not only with the one that been selected. Because we were with a judge panel, so I couldn't decide on. So we all decide together. But I found some really interesting artists based in the region, Emirati artists also, which I really want to work with also in the future with some Emirati artists. So I'm looking deeply at that.
Okay. I mean, you spent, over 2 decades discovering artists, some artists who have gone on to achieve global acclaim. I think that's fair to say. The relationship between is gallerist a word? Would you be a gallerist?
Yeah, I would say gallerist. I'm more gallerist than an art dealer. I used to be art dealer. I used to do more gallerist.
I know. I was looking for the right way to describe you.
You can say gallerist. I like this word. It's an old world that it's nice.
Well, if it's not a word, it should be a word. So we'll make it a word.
Yeah.
But the relationship between a gallerist and an artist, that's a complex business partnership, I think, in many ways.
Yeah, but it's beautiful because you have you establish a very friendly relationship with your artist. It's you discussing a project. I'm mostly friend with all of my artists.
Well, you're like a gatekeeper for the career because artists now can just go to Instagram or social media, but to choose to be with a gallerist, for example, that's a different career trajectory.
Yes, I think it's important for an artist today to have a gallery.
Yeah,
because a gallery make the job of an artist on putting a beautiful show together, on doing the promotion, the installation, and for also people to come and visit the show. So, of course, an artist can sell directly on Instagram, but then it's become more like a commerce. It's more.
No,
like,
I know. No,
okay, I paint. I sell. No, the gallery make a show. We keep the show for quite a few weeks.
Yeah.
People come and visit the show. There is a real story. We explain. People can find themselves in. It's yeah.
No, I get that, and again, it goes back to the feel. Instagram has always confused me as a photographic medium. That kind of 2-inch square picture. I never really understood that, but everybody.
I think
what do I know?
I think it works, and it's important for artists today to be on social media.
Sure.
And after, if some artists sell directly on social media to their collector, good for them. My artists, they don't do that. They go through me. As we have.
People can then appreciate.
Yeah, people appreciate.
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, okay. Can an artist really achieve museum level legacy and sustainable kind of secondary auction value without the backing of an infrastructure like yours? Having a primary gallery. Is that ultimately the best career move for an artist as they grow?
Yeah, an artist, to build an higher career of an artist, it's, you go step by step. So you building the interest of the collector with an artist, with a show, and then after, museum, institution, get interested into your artist. But I'm also pushing a lot on some of our artists to get into a museum and institution.
Okay.
To get
as a trajectory, as like a career path. It's part of it's established way, but it seems
it's important.
Yeah.
It's not an easy way, because but it's important for an artist. I try to give some museum show to some of my artists. Like now, I have a project with one of my artists named Conrad John Godley, the Swiss-German artist, with a very important museum show in October. So this is something that when you do that for an artist, the artist is quite happy and it stay with you.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. Let's talk about the people who buy. The wealth transfer happening across the Gulf now means that younger, tech-savvy entrepreneurs, for example, the family office heirs are entering the market. Their expectations around accessibility and technology and transparency are very different to the traditional art collectors that I suppose you've dealt with for many years. Are younger collectors changing the kinds of art that is popular, that really succeeds?
Yes.
You think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Of course. We have a young collector, family office. We local. We really sell art to. It's very different. Young collector. Yes, we start working, and more since we are in Dubai, we have more and more young collector, people who never bought art before, but they saw the gallery coming here. They like the program. They come again. They don't like that show. They come again to another show. They like that show. They buy one piece. And I think when you start collecting art, you buy one work, two works, three works, and then, then also after you move on to other gallery, you go and see around.
And your taste develops.
Your taste develop, and but we met a lot of new collector like that. I have a story with one of my collectors that I met in London maybe 7-8 years ago. He was just walking into my London gallery. He bought one work, two works, three works, and I think now he's got maybe 200 artworks.
Bought from you?
Yeah, from me and from other gallery. But I give him the taste and the desire to buy art.
There's a lifelong client.
So this is, it's a good achievement as a gallerist. And also when they believe on you, when they believe on your taste and on your artist, this is what makes me very, very happy.
Let me ask you just, we're a little bit over time, but I'll run over time ever so slightly. One more question. Are you noticing a shift in what Dubai collectors are buying from when you first visited to where you are now? Is there a preference for Middle Eastern pieces, storied pieces maybe, or is it more Western contemporary? What's the...
No, there is no, because so far we've been presenting a very international program with artists from Japan, Africa, Switzerland, Spain, and it's been super well received. And we it's a bit. So I think people buy what they like.
It matches the population.
There is no trend.
Really.
I mean, I won't say there is after there is trend of some artists that needs to be collected or not, but
is that good advice? Just buy what you like.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think what. Yeah. I think what you like, what you feel, because art it's a moment. You're just buying a moment of the artist. It's not just a painting. It's so what you like, and also to know also the story.
Yeah,
I think that's important.
Yeah,
and also when you know that
and how it feels.
You always feel.
Yeah,
and also I think when you have nice art in your environment, in your office or in your house, you like talking about it, with your guest or with you're proud. So
yeah,
I think it's and when you buy art, it needs to be a special moment. You remember that moment from where you bought it, why you bought it, who you met.
It becomes a life decision, doesn't it?
It's a story.
Something you live with.
You create a story.
I have lots of questions that I wanted to ask you. We don't have time, so I'm hoping, JD, you'll come back and join us again.
With pleasure. Thank you so much.
All the best with Made in the UAE. Tonight
Thank you.
As well. Jean-David Malat is the founder of the JD Malat Gallery here in Dubai. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
This interview will be posted to our Mira Business FM YouTube page after the show.
Mira Business FM, your daily guide to the markets, money, and more. Business FM, your daily guide to the markets, money, and more.
This is Mira Business FM. It's the morning drive, and for decades, the global financial planning narrative has drummed a singular, kind of terrifying warning into us. You are not saving enough for retirement. That's a mantra that my guest has, I think, said to me a few times on occasion. We're constantly told if we don't aggressively build our nest eggs, we're going to run out of money in our golden years. But there is a counterintuitive kind of psychological shift starting to happen. And it comes from a recent report, and it highlights a structural blind spot, really, that for millions of affluent retirees, the real risk isn't overspending as you build this nest egg, it's underspending in your life. Counterintuitive, but James Thomas, who is a licensed financial consultant, independent financial consultant, this is kind of encouraging, I've got to say to you.
Yeah, good morning. Yes.
It's
When I sent this to you, I saw this article and this research, and I just thought, you know what, this would make hopefully an interesting topic of conversation, because as you rightly say, not just myself, but the industry in general, it's just this doom and gloom, not doom and gloom, but it's this overarching, you must save, you're not saving enough, save more, build. But I think people then get indoctrinated. They get, so ingrained in them that
it becomes a pressure, doesn't it?
Almost, yes.
Yeah.
And what there's been actually quite a few articles I've seen recently saying that actually, and I see it actually, my parents and my in-laws, you've saved your whole life, your whole career has all been about saving, building for that retirement. Then you get there, and you're absolutely petrified to spend anything. Yeah.
It's a very real thing, and it is a mantra. And at the outset, I should sort of say, I mean, as much as you will say to people, you got to save, you got to do it. That's more for the discipline of doing it, rather than don't live your life now.
Always, as I hopefully again that's coming across.
To be fair to you,
I always say to people, it's got to be a balance.
Yeah.
You've got to enjoy life now as well as plan for that future you. But this was just some interesting research and studies that seem to indicate that once you've actually followed that mantra and built that lump sum, well, go out there and enjoy it.
Well, the first thing, I mean, best place to start, beginning.
Yes.
There's a lot to talk about here. Psychology of wealth retention. There's the fear of the financial unknown. There is how you safely deploy capital in retirement. All of that stuff.
Yep.
But the first point to make is make sure you start saving in the first place, right?
Yes,
So that's
build that. So you have to. This is a nice problem to have, if it's even a problem. But it's a nice situation to be in.
That's a good way to put it, actually. But there is a paradox. We spend our entire lives learning how to save, but nobody teaches us how to spend.
No, or very few people do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, I told you this many times. I got a credit card, went a bit nuts, and then learned the lesson and had to pay it back and pay the interest. And actually, it's a good lesson. But nobody taught me how to spend money and whether I should treat myself or splurge on this or save for this. It took time.
It does take time, and I think this is even more the case when that money is there to be spent and enjoyed.
Yeah.
And the key word there is to enjoy it. You've worked hard to build this nest egg, and yet there's certainly a growing body of evidence that suggests that a lot of people then don't know actually how to do that.
Well, it's the interesting thing, right? That you save all of your life, and then as you get into retirement, you have your kids and then maybe grandkids and other responsibilities, and you're a little bit afraid to spend because you want to look after them. And I don't want to be morbid here, but the raw data is that lots of financial planners find that retirees leave this world, if you like, with the bulk of their nest eggs intact. They're leaving we're behind.
As we often do, just in a not dealing. The issue we're talking about is your death.
Exactly.
It's a very hard. I don't know how to do it. Thing to accept. You know, none of us. Well, I think we all realise none of us are immortal, but equally, we don't want to face our own mortality. Because,
No.
and of course, there's the other factors. We don't know when that day will come. So it's always that balance with thinking, well, I need to plan for the future because there's still hopefully many years in front of us. But equally, when we come to retirement, I guess it's that staring in the face, well, I've now reached the end of my working career. I'm reaching or entering the next phase of my life, which I'm hesitant to call it twilight years or
Golden
late
years,
golden
or
years,
whatever
later
people call
years,
it, yeah.
because again, it's facing that reality that there's less years in front than potentially there were behind us.
Well, there's a psychological block here,
So
isn't
that
there?
is the
Because
yes.
so you build up a nest egg, and then you maybe sacrifice some travel opportunities or some lifestyle opportunities because you don't want to to spend the money. There's a fear of poverty.
Yes.
Right, for lots of people, understandably.
Huge fear, and absolute, and a right, it's a valid fear to have.
Yeah, so you work for something. But, when an individual spends 30 or 40 years kind of validating their self-worth, their security, and they're watching that net worth line go up, it's pretty difficult to kind of flick a switch on day one of retirement and
Except that it's now
start to
going
watch
to
it
go
go
the other
down.
way
I mean,
again. Yes.
the graph should be going northwards, not southwards. You can see why people would.
I can say, should it? But that's absolutely, the mindset is that I've just been, as you say, 30, 40 years building this. It's been going up, 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 up. To now think, it's okay for it to either plateau or indeed drop is a huge step in a different direction. Which may take time to do so. But where this, I think perhaps maybe your questions are going to come on to, but we have to remember that in certainly the early years of one's retirement, typically you're going to be more active, more adventurous. So you said those things that perhaps you have put off, those trips, those holidays that you had sacrificed, you had not taken. Well, now's the time to do it. You've built those assets, that wealth. Spend a little bit of it.
Yeah. Okay. So
and I'm not advocating taking the whole pot and splurging the whole lot, but just remember why you built this is so you can enjoy yourself.
Yeah, and that's one of the things about money. Sometimes you can just simply enjoy it rather than look at it growing. That's a fair point. Is there a trend where retirees look at their investment portfolios as like a monument? I'm going to preserve that monument rather than a fund for life experiences.
I think it is. Yeah, or is viewed in that way. Yes, it becomes something that can't be touched, can't fall in value, can't be accessed and I think it's also become as certainly from the UK and other markets have moved away from what we call final salary pensions, which were company provided. So you didn't really see a monetary value. You simply went from getting paid a salary to being paid your pension, which I think perhaps took away, or you didn't ever see what was behind that. It was just a monetary amount paid to you. Whereas as we've moved away from that and become more, which is in a way good, responsible for our own fund and therefore see a monetary value to it, you become far more protective of that because you've worked so hard to build that in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. So it needs like a mindset shift.
It does.
And I know we use that phrase all the time and it's overused and I apologise, but that you need to be able to kind of flick a cognitive switch.
Yeah, and it's
changes the
it's
way
not
you do
necessarily a switch that you can or will switch immediately, but it's just something I would say to be aware of sooner rather than later, to make sure you do enjoy it. Because again, whether we're coming on to it, but some of the stats would indicate that people actually do die with a bigger fund than they started with. So therefore, up to a third is the quoted number. So 33% of people actually die, let's be blunt about it, with a fund greater than they started with.
I mean, there's another side to that as well. There's a massive demographic of wealthy retirees around. If they refuse to spend, it changes capital flows in the economy, doesn't it as well? That's just money that's sat not
it
really
does.
working
And
for
again,
anybody.
in the Western economies, the population is aging. So if that population is spending less, then yes, it will have a knock-on effect on the rest of the
It will.
economy.
It's a very kind of
And again, that's getting very abstract.
impersonal way to look at it,
Yes.
but
It's almost the
it's one side of it.
very much so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lots of underspenders justify their sort of frugality. They say, I want to leave a legacy for my children, and that's fine. You can understand why that is. We all want to do that. But if that wealth isn't passed down until the children themselves maybe are in their 50s or 60s, for example.
Yes.
People are having kids later now. Has the utility of that money, that wealth, been diluted? Because lots of those 50s or 60s year olds will have learned from their parents they're doing the same things, and they're fast approaching that point
themselves.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's again, it's quite abstract, isn't the right word, but it's impersonal, but it's a bigger picture that people. Yes, if you're having your children later, you're living longer as well because of improved healthcare and the fact that you do have this pot of money to be able to look after yourself. You end up in the position where that money doesn't actually pass on to your children, probably past the point that they really needed it, because they would be, say, in their 50s or 60s themselves.
Yeah. I don't want this to sound morbid at all, because it's not, the point is not to be morbid, but there has been a change, is the point.
Yes.
Do you think that people like you, wealth managers, independent financial consultants, should you be advising people to like a giving while living strategy, so you could fund, I don't know, charitable causes or milestones for kids, rather than leaving that big estate later, so that a wider spread, if you like?
I do, and it's certainly coming from the UK. One of the issues that we have is inheritance tax. That is to say, above a certain amount, there's a 40% tax that's levied on the estate that's left.
Yes,
and one of the simplest ways around that is to give money in life and live for 7 years. All sorts of rules around it, but the basic concept is if you can give it away in life, then it doesn't form part of your estate in death, and therefore you've saved a huge amount of tax.
Yeah.
If that money is surplus to requirements, then and your children are in a position, or grandchildren need money, maybe for, if it's for property, if it's for education, whatever it may be, then rather than just simply to spend, but absolutely, I always advocate, because it's free. There's no complicated structures around it. You haven't got to do anything, but it's just that, again, accepting that you don't need that money anymore, and you're quite happy for it to leave your control.
Well, exactly, and it's about your control, I guess, in lots of cases.
And again,
that's
another switch
argument.
as part of that mindset shift from a saver to a spender, but is also the control. You're giving up that money.
Yeah.
But if we've identified that there's still more than enough assets in your portfolio that you can sustain comfortably the level of lifestyle that you've been enjoying, then why not? If it can then help the people you love most to enjoy their lives, and then you get to see it.
That's a good point, actually. So there is a level of pleasure and a level of...
I would hope so. If you've got grandchildren and you can then help them with a better schooling, and then you can go to that graduation, you can see them progress in their lives, surely that's a huge level of reward. You can feel far more passionate about what that money has bought.
I nearly said return there, but
exactly.
it's not a return on investment.
It's not a return at all. It's far more valuable than that.
Sure. All right, so solutions then. If a client of yours is sitting on a good, strong, robust portfolio, they're well diversified, it's doing well, but they're too scared to buy a plane ticket or renovate their house or whatever, what kind of financial... I was going to say barriers, that's wrong. Guardrails, that's the phrase of the moment. Can a wealth advisor, a financial consultant, put in place to sort of give them permission to spend? Because if somebody's just like, no, I can't do that.
Real life example. One of my clients, we have an ongoing joke. He's done very well for himself. He's been here over 40 years, and we have the ongoing joke about buying a Bentley.
Okay.
And he ended up buying a Skoda. Exactly. Great car. Does everything he wanted it to.
Nothing wrong with the car.
Nothing wrong with the car, but
they're very different levels.
Very different level. And I just couldn't bring myself to spend that money on such a frivolous item. I said, okay, so what would you like to do? He said, well, I'd like to go to I forget the name of the reserve, but there's a really high-end game reserve in southern Africa somewhere. It's not in South Africa, but one of and you can see all the big five, and it's very luxurious. And I said, well, it's once in a lifetime trip. Why don't you and your wife go there?
Very cool.
And so that was the guardrail. He said, absolutely. So they went for their anniversary. Had an amazing time. Probably spent not a value of a Bentley, but it was an extremely high amount of money.
Obviously ticks a lot of things. And it ticks over.
They saw the animals. They had a wonderful time. They were treated like kings and queens. It was everything they wanted it to be. So that's the sort of guardrail that I would give to my clients. Find something that you're passionate about, that you're happy to spend that money on. Has it affected their retirement? Not in one fraction.
Yeah, okay.
But they got an amazing experience. They've got, their house now has pictures of the animals they've seen. They had, it was everything they wanted it to be.
So looking in from the outside, that person has done one of the things they'd always wanted to do.
Yes.
And also has a new car as well.
Yeah.
Rather than just a new car.
Which to him is far more valuable. And that's I think is the key point, is finding the things that appeal to you most. So whether it's, again, he's also done things for his children and grandchildren, which is great. But this was just, I said, you need to treat yourself. This is your hard-earned money, and it's travel. So therefore, go travel, fly business class, whatever it may be. Go to the high-end hotels that you wouldn't have done when you were bringing up the children.
Yeah.
And enjoy it. Because it's the fruits of your labour.
So this is an investment in yourself. That would be, yeah. Okay.
And let's say, going back to your phrase, the guardrail, but yeah, because the portfolio has done really well. It's barely made a dent, and markets again we weren't to know, but have carried on growing. So actually, it's recuperated all of the expenditure anyway. And I think that's where a lot of these portfolios we're seeing, because. Now, it's no guarantee it will continue to do so, but if we look at long-term trends, markets grow above inflation. So if whatever you're taking out, and I think that's why these portfolios are ending up worth more, the same or more, is because they're continuing to grow.
There's a phrase, spending smiles, that I came across when I was thinking about what I was going to ask you today. But I was wondering, how does a modern financial plan, looking ahead, allow those spending smiles? So there's little bits of, take a little bit out and live your life a little bit more, so that you can get used to, it's a psychological thing. You can get used to that. Very much. Well, I'm going to spend some money.
I think this holiday is a great example, because it's a treat to yourself, a reward. That doesn't sound too corny, but it's just to say, I've built this portfolio from savings for my hard work.
And you can structure it to make it work that way for you.
Exactly. And that's the key. Right. So having those, and again, in practice, it's not a click of the, we're going to go and do whatever it may be, but it's still something that's very meaningful to the people concerned.
Okay. The 4% rule's been a thing for decades, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's like an industry benchmark almost. Given changing lifespans, market conditions, do we need to redefine what a safe, stress-free withdrawal rate looks like for a modern retiree, do you think? Is the 4% rule still relevant?
I think it's still relevant. Yeah. It's a good guideline.
I suppose you should explain the 4% rule, before anything. But
so, you have a portfolio, whatever it's worth. If you withdraw 4% a year, it should be able to maintain that value after the withdrawals have made.
Yes.
So, $1 million, dirhams, pounds, whatever, take 4%, which is 40,000. It should be able to sustain that and continue to grow. And I think that's what has happened. So you could argue there's the ability or the facility to take a higher amount should you wish. But of course, you start. That's the wonder of hindsight again. Previous returns have shown that has been more than comfortable. We don't know whether that's going to be. It's a good guideline, but I think what the data is showing that probably certainly in your early years of retirement, you can afford to take more if you need to or want to.
Yeah, you would think so. I mean,
and not to be too concerned. And again, is that flick of the switch, is that mindset change, and it's not something that's going to happen overnight. But I think if you were to see that in the first 2 or 3 years of your retirement, and the fund is actually then worth more than it was 3 years prior when you retired, it should give you that confidence to go, well, this year we can take a little bit more, go and enjoy ourselves a bit more, do some things that we want to do, and not be overly concerned should the portfolio fall.
Yeah, but you do need to kind of change the way you think in some ways, though, because one of the things that I took from you is your thing of if you're about to buy something online, leave it in the basket, think about it overnight, come back the next day. If you still want it the next day, then there's probably a need, or you deserve it, or whatever.
Yes.
So you think about it, but you have to get past
you do.
that.
And
later.
again, because I've instilled these. If people have listened to me, they've got now, as you keep coming back to, should I, shouldn't I? But these are one of the, and I'm still not saying about frivolous expenditure, but if it is a new car, if it is a trip, if it is to help one of your grandchildren to go to college, well, that's, all of those things are useful investments in whatever it may be. So it's not something you should be overly concerned in investing into. It's another investment, call it that, but not a monetary investment, perhaps.
Yeah. And we've got to get away from calling it return on investment.
Yeah.
If you help your grandkids at college or whatever. But I know what you mean. So money is ultimately, it's a vehicle, right, of for time and experiences. That's really what money gets you, aside from sustenance, I suppose. So if you cross the finish line with a mountain of unspent pot, your pot is still full of cash. Maybe the financial plan didn't succeed. You may have actually miscalculated in some ways, I suppose.
That's certainly one way to look at it.
It's a way of looking at it, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, again, perhaps not particularly funny joke in the industry is, you want to spend your last pound, dirham, dollar on the last day that you're here.
Yeah, I'm not sure things
works.
work that way. Of course they don't. But that's fair. It's interesting because it's kind of counterintuitive.
It is.
But it's also really important, I think, and it's one of the things that you've said a lot of times, save and be sensible and do the things you want to do and build a portfolio and get ready for the future. But you also have to remember to live as well.
Yes.
And I think,
enjoy it. Enjoy this journey.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're here to do.
We've only got one. That's the point. James Thomas is an independent financial consultant. He's licensed in the UAE and joins us every Thursday morning. It's been good to talk to you.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't forget to like and subscribe for more interviews like this from Mira Business FM.
Mira Business FM, Dubai's home of business radio.